Hello, welcome, dear friends. Welcome to this sacred space and this sacred time in space. It is a point of origin wherein we find you like a pin dropped on a map. And so here you are with us. Here we are together. And we have things to do and things to say. And so the first thing we want to say about authentic power is all authentic power originates from the divine. It is the essence of life force energy. It is the essence of the divine. It is the essence of everything good. And so, power, the word, has been greatly twisted in your understanding of it, in your cultural perception of what power is. And so we hope to, in some manner, redeem this word tonight. But more than that, what we long to do is to give you an experience in this moment of space and time of the power of God in your presence, the presence of true power. We want you to feel in your body, in your auric field, in your environment where you are, the intensity of divine power and the love that it encompasses. So, if you are in a safe location, please relax your body, relax your mind, allow your mind to melt down into your heart space. Let go of your day, let go of whatever ails you, whatever is bothering you, and be present with power. And let power come in to remove whatever is not serving you, and experience yourself as divine power. Experience divine power coursing through your physical body, and experience yourself as a power, not a disempowered being. Mhm, mhm, mhm. For the attachment to your mind, your egoic attachment to your thoughts, is constantly at work to convince you that you are powerless, or that you must exert power over another. And we're here to undo some of that. We're here to shh your ego mind in order that real power may step up. For you will see that it will come into your awareness and experience now, once you leave this evening, that it is those who speak the least that have the most power, and is those who talk the most that have the least amount of power. Mhm. Because power never needs to be displayed or paraded or flaunted. It is simply a holding up of the self. It is holding up one's frame. It is holding up one's chin. It is looking straight ahead in the eyes of the other. It is peace in its essence. It is in the moment, you see. Now, we are going to give this vessel her moments to share the notes that she has developed with us. You see, she is like you. She is on a spiritual journey of discovering herself as pure power, as the Atman, as the perfection of the divine soul. And as she embarks on this journey, you may go along with her if you'd like. Likely that is why you are here, because you are on the journey with her, and yours having your own unique flavor, hers having its. And so, as you sift and sort, sift and sort, sift and sort, discarding what no longer works for you, what is not of the true you, what is not of your higher dimensional self, what is not originating from source, you will find yourself stepping down into your divine nature and exuding so very much power, power of attraction, power to attract what is eternal and blissful and good for you. and the things that you don't want will drop away, drop away. So let us begin then with this dear one and her teachings, knowing, understanding that it is her higher self delivering these teachings through the lens, the personality of her life and her being. This is much like, we have shared this analogy before, we will share it again here. It is like a hand in a glove. You see, if a person is moving their hand in front of your face with a glove on it, you don't think that it is the glove that is animate, it is the glove that is expressing or moving. No, you understand it is the hand that is moving, and the glove is simply along for the ride. So, this is the way it is with this vessel as she teaches. Her hand is the soul, it is her divine parts, it is Judah, it is us. We are Judah, we are the express image of the creator. We are the expression of the creator. And when she is sharing, we are the hand. We are her oversoul family. We are the completion of her soul. We are the totality of who she is, and oh, so much more. And so as she shares, we are the hand expressing ourselves through the glove, which is she, which is her experience, her personality, her skills, her talents, her physical form, her ideas, and so on, her perspectives. And she is allowing herself, her perspectives, to be continually refined, as are many of you. And this is the process of enlightenment, is refining and refining and refining and refining perspectives until you have joined in with the mind of God, the very mind of God. And so we are the hand, she is the glove, and the glove is growing ever and ever and ever more translucent, but yet still glorious and individual and unique from any and all else on the earth. Just as you are unique. There is no one else like you. You are a perfectly unique expression of the divine. Be you allowing the divine, the hand, to work within you, to move you, to shape you, to express itself through you. So when you listen to the teaching, listen it with the same attention with which you would give us as we channel. We understand that channeling is mystical, it's magical, it has a very unique ethereal quality to it, which is very attractive. And it does bear the mark of our high authority. And it sounds like listening to the voice of God, does it not? For in truth, it has the DNA, the expression of the voice of God. Understand, though, however, that we also like to speak through our human vessels, this one and many, many, many others. And likely the expression through her physical vehicle is a very high consciousness that is enough to challenge 99.9% of you in some new way. So be careful. We would encourage you. We encourage this vessel as well. We were writing through her this week. Remember this phrase: familiarity breeds contempt. This is a phrase that is commonly said in your culture to express the fact that when you come close to someone and spend a lot of time with them, then you can lose your respect and your sense of awe and wonder for who they are and their uniqueness and the message that they bring, the purpose they bring to the earth. And we wrote through her this week a new phrase: familiarity breeds unconsciousness. So be careful that you're not going unconscious in the wake of high vibrational teachers such as ourselves and the many other beautiful expressions of divinity you are listening to. Be careful that you don't grow so familiar that you cease to learn, that you cease to extract the diamonds from the mines. Good. Now let us begin now with this discussion about authentic power. And welcome. We are glad you are here. We are here to bring our power into your life. As this vessel mentioned to you last week, angels are simple tools like levers, fulcrums, and pulleys. We are the simple tools that are very powerful, that can remove or heavy loads, lighten heavy loads, overhaul various aspects of your life, remove karma permanently, you see. And so pay attention, ask angels for help. Don't go to sleep. Remember that we are available. Many times in the night, this vessel hears you call our name as she sees your face and hears your request. Why wouldn't you use a tool that was available to you? If you had a boulder to move of some consequence, we are speaking metaphorically here of karma, of conflict, of poverty, of a job that's driving you mad, whatever the circumstance is for you this evening, whatever it is that is bothering you. Why wouldn't you ask for the simple tools of angels, which are revolutionary, transformative? Why examine the boulder? Why examine the pile of manure in your life? Why look at it? Why dissect it? Why cut it apart? Why think about how it got there, or what it's going to look or smell like tomorrow? What is the point of that? Why not employ your simple tools and remove it? Remove it. And simply say, angels, this, sweet angels, please remove this. You see, the mind, as this vessel has taught you, makes things entirely too complicated, entirely too complicated. And life is simple. It is simple. Love, be present, meditate, surrender. Love, be present, meditate, surrender. Now, here we go. There are things to learn about power tonight. And above all, we are going to add to this discussion our manifestation of true power, which is source, life, force, energy in your life experience. And here we go. Thank you, Judah. That was a great way to start. All right. Thank you, all you precious ones that are chatting. I hope that you'll get to meet each other. I know you're from all over the world. I'm sorry that I can't stop and read all of it. Maybe one of these days we'll have somebody alongside that can read them and toss me questions as we go. But we're going to talk about power tonight. Power. So, you know that I love Lao Tzu. If you don't know anything about Lao Tzu, he's an enlightened being who was, we will call maybe the founding father of Taoism. And the 5,000 words that he wrote in about 600 BC have become called the Tao Te Ching, and they're the Bible of the Taoist religion. So it's been really good for me to read another sacred text besides the Bible. It's been really life-giving for me. And I am doing a unique series on the Tao Te Ching and with channeling and all kinds of goodies in it. And it'll be released soon on Gnostic TV. We'll give you more information about that later. So I'm going to dive in with a quote of his. The authentic power of the soul. Tonight we're going to compare and contrast true power with the ego's false power. Lao Tzu said, the master doesn't try to be powerful, and because of that, he is truly powerful. The ordinary man keeps reaching for power, thus he never has enough. And he also said, true power seems weak. So one verse that I love from the Bible about real power is this one. Jesus said, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given unto me. All authority in heaven and on earth has been given unto me. So whenever you see or hear Jesus speaking this word heaven, keep in mind that he might have likely been looking up at the sky when he was speaking, when he was teaching. And the heavens there were the closest, most tangible thing that he could speak of that represented this expansive, wide open space, this emptiness, beauty, expansiveness. And so it was the closest metaphor or analogy to higher dimensions, right? So when Jesus says the word heaven, he's speaking of the higher dimensions, the expansive, peaceful spaces of the heart. So he said, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Now, keep in mind that much later in the journey, he also said before he left his disciples, all the stuff that I've done, you're going to do even more and greater, more and greater, more and greater. So when he says, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given unto me, he's also saying and implying there through the totality of his teaching, all authority in the higher dimensions, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the higher dimensions, and on earth, third dimension, the material world that you can see, taste, touch, feel, has been given to you. All authority in the higher dimensions and on the earth has been given to you. So how are we going to begin discerning that and actually owning it and operating in it? It's interesting because the word power there in the original Greek language means mastery. So tonight, all of what we're talking about is becoming a master, becoming an enlightened being, right? Like the Christ, like Lao Tzu, like the Buddha. This is your spiritual inheritance. It is not something reserved for some sort of spiritual elites that grow up in a cave meditating. It's for everyone. It's for every child of God. So Jesus recognized that power is a gift from source. It is a spiritual inheritance. And the full expression of it and use of it is a sign of mastery and enlightenment. So force will always surrender to true power. Force will always surrender to true power. See, Jesus was forced onto the cross by the powers of the day. It was the religious leaders and the political leaders. And it was also the force of the mob, the people, the collective unconscious that rose up against him in this kind of mob mentality and brought accusation against him. So all these false egoic powers were at work: religion, political powers, and the broader unconsciousness of the people of that day. And they forced him onto the cross and killed him. And so he appeared to be the weak one, right? He appeared to have no power whatsoever. And even the soldiers and people standing around, they were mocking him and saying, look at him. He said he was God, he was the Son of God, and look at him. He's just hanging there dying. He's dying. He's got no power at all. So remember that sometimes authentic power, real power, looks like weakness. And Lao Tzu backed that up with his quote. He said, true power seems weak. True power seems weak. And maybe if you grew up in the religious tradition, you might remember this little children's song we used to sing, yes, Jesus loves me. And in the song we sing, they are weak, but he is strong. So there's this kind of dichotomy there, or paradox in the spirit world, that sometimes real, authentic spiritual power will look like weakness. And so that's a promise for you. Like if you're in a time or season where you feel really weak, like life's really brought you down to your knees, like nothing's working for you, that's actually the point of transformation. That's the point of transformation where you start to really experience power. So, authentic soul power feels like peace and it feels like ease. It's effortless and it's not showing off. So, it might look like weakness, it might look like quietness, it might look very unassuming. But our ego attached mind, its version of power is agitation and force, right? It's pushing something on someone or pulling, pushing or pulling, right? And a lot of times egoic power has this kind of edge of urgency. Everything is urgent, everything is urgent, right? Whereas authentic power is just okay with whatever is in the moment. So real true soul power feels like releasing and allowing. It comes naturally. It's a gift that flows from the divine and you can't take it away. A person that has real, true spiritual power, their power cannot be taken away. You can hold a gun to their head and threaten to kill them, and they will be at peace. They could be dying of cancer, and they will completely at peace. Real, true, authentic soul power cannot be taken away from you, and it replenishes itself. Whereas ego power is based on this constant efforting, trying. There's something more I have to do. There's something more I have to know. This person can't be allowed to behave this way, and this can't be this way, and it's not okay that this is like this, and this has to change. And so there's this constant kind of trying and efforting going on with ego power. And with ego power, the mind will tell you that you have to earn your place in life. You have to earn it over and over again. Not even love, but you have to earn approval. You have to earn the air you breathe and the food you eat. You have to earn it over and over and over again. And this kind of ego power leads to exhaustion and burnout. Exhaustion and burnout. I'll never forget when I was a school teacher, the first year that I sat down in front of the computer to do my evaluation, and we had these evaluations from the state that were pages and pages, I don't know, 30 or 40 pages of evaluative stuff that we had to do every quarter. And we had to evaluate ourselves. We had to be evaluated by another teacher, and we had to be evaluated by our principals. And I read over all the things that we were supposed to be in order to be a good teacher, and I literally wept. I literally cried. The standards were impossible. They were a recipe for burnout. They were a recipe for exhaustion. Um, they were completely unrealistic. So the ego will do this to us. It will impose these impossible standards on us that can never be met. And in order to feel powerful, in order to have power over what we don't want, and in order to have the power to bring to ourselves what we do want, we will continue with all this efforting. So, authentic soul power knows that the power is a gift. It is a gift from God. It does not have to be earned. It's written in the will. No matter how we behave, no matter what we might do or not do that we think disqualifies us, cannot disqualify us. If you are in prison right now and you've committed murder, a heinous crime, or some other heinous crime, and in this moment, if you wake up to the divinity in you, that you are God incarnate, that your soul is perfect and blameless and flawless and forgiven. If you wake up to that, which is the real you, not the things that you did, then you have just received the gift of authentic soul power. So the ego's attached mind perceives power as connected to a role. I'm the adult, I'm the parent, so I have power over the children. Children, I have power over you. Not. Right? Or it perceives it, so it's connected to all kinds of roles like being the boss, being the parent, um, whatever other roles you might have. And so when you're in an egoic, attached mind state, you will always perceive yourself as either having power or being disempowered, as being more than someone else or less than someone else, right? You'll feel powerful in the situation, or you'll feel under it, less than, an underling, and you'll feel disempowered by the situation. So when we get caught in our ego mind, then we stay in that we can't get out of that solar plexus yellow ray on the map of consciousness, right? Yeah, Judah wants to say something about that. Good, 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 good. Yes, 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 yes. Mhm, 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 mhm. Yes, dears, we are looking for you to cast off this idea that you are less than someone else and someone else is more than you. You see, your station in life has nothing to do with who you are. Your station in life has nothing to do with who you are. Perhaps you are a housekeeper scrubbing the toilet for a wealthy or powerful, seemingly powerful person. But your service can give you great accolades in the realm of heaven, you see, when it comes from a loving and giving heart. And so never underestimate your power. Your power is not connected to roles. Some of the most powerful people in the world are those who seem to be weak in the eyes of the world and of the culture, yet they are exuding so much love and peace, kindness and perfection in their being. And to be with one of these is to be in the presence of God. So remember that whatever package you have been given, delivered in this life, dictates nothing at all about your worth. Your worth is given to you by God, and it cannot be reduced or added to by anything that you do, or any title or degree tacked on to the end of your name, or any such thing. You see, and you would agree if you think about it carefully, for any baby born on the earth today, we would all agree every child born is worthy of love and care and nurture. And we never deem one as being better than the other, do we? Because we understand that every child born has inherent worth. And anything that tells you otherwise is simply a conditioned program of the mind and the culture. Good. Okay. So when we have authentic power from the divine and we're operating in that power, we are against nothing and no one. We are against nothing and no one. We are allowing all things. But ego power has to have a villain. It has to either be the villain, have a villain, or be a victim to that villain. It has to be against something or someone. So anytime you're feeling, against someone or something, then you know that you're in your ego state, or we will say the ego state. Authentic power has an inexhaustible source of energy, and ego power drains and sucks energy. Authentic power doesn't need anything from the outside to keep it pumped up, right? It doesn't need anything to sustain its power or replenish its power. If it were a car, it would be on full. The tank would be on full all the time. So people that have true power, they are self-sustaining. They are self-sustaining. They know how to go into a state of meditation and allow their divinity to rise up and source and resource whatever the need of the moment is in their life. But ego or false power always has to have someone or something, all the nouns. It has to have another vacation, a different car, a new relationship, a different friend, a better counselor, a different book. The ego always needs something external to source and fuel its power. And the thing about the ego is it will play this big mind game with you and tell you that if I just had blank, then I wouldn't feel so powerless over my life. If I just had blank, then I wouldn't feel like life was passing me by. If I just had blank, then I would be comfortable. I would be okay. I wouldn't be so less than and under everybody else. So the egoic mind is insatiable. You can never satisfy it. So one of the things you can tell yourself is just say, this isn't going to make me happy. This isn't going to make me feel more, this isn't going to give me any more power. This isn't going to make my life better. I might think that, but it's just not true. So whatever it is you're thinking you're wanting a new puppy, you're wanting, I don't know, this certain vacation or whatever it is, a new partner, whatever it is that you're wanting, or you're wanting a divorce. Your ego is telling you you'll finally be happy when, but just tell yourself the truth. This new partner is not going to make me happy. I'm the only one who can make me happy, right? And so sometimes we get frustrated because we're in a relationship where we're disempowered in the relationship. Maybe the other partner is acting like they're better than us, or trying to exert control or power over us, or over where we go or what we do, or what kind of work we have, or our finances, or whatever, how we do the laundry. I don't know. And so when someone else is trying to exert power over us, then we may think that the ego will tell us that if they would just stop doing that, we would be okay. But the truth is, they're only reflecting to us that we're not owning our own power. And so it's not for them to change, it's for us to come into our own authentic power. So true soul power from source unifies. It unifies. It doesn't create a separateness with other people. It unifies. It doesn't make any demands, and it allows everything and allows all perspectives. But the ego mind, its attachment to power, it will demand that there must be a winner and there must be a loser, and there must be a consequence when so-and-so has done something that isn't what I want, right? And so the egoic mind polarizes. It polarizes. Now, authentic power, going back to the illustration about Jesus on the cross, it's said in the scripture that the political leaders, some of them were actually trying to save his skin. They knew he was innocent. They knew he was authentic spiritual leader. They wanted him to defend himself in some way so that they would have a reason to save him from the mob and from this cruel death that they were demanding. And so they asked him to please defend himself. And you know what? He wouldn't. He wouldn't. And so this is a characteristic of authentic soul power. Someone who's really in their divine authority will not defend themselves. They will not defend their position. They will not rationalize why they're doing what they're doing. They know that they don't owe an explanation to anyone for their choice, because they are assured in their inner being that they are acting on divine authority. So they give no defense, and they're not subject to other powers or the judgment of others. So a person with true spiritual authority might be sitting at the table of the most powerful leader in the world. They might be having dinner with Putin or with the president. But they understand that as a higher dimensional being, as a divine being, that they are the one actually at the table who has the true spiritual authority. You understand? Because they are of a higher consciousness, and they're aware of their higher consciousness. Now, the ego power, false power, will always defend itself, try to justify, argue, explain, its position. This power, soul power, can never be taken away. But the egoic power is always either gaining power or losing it. Always gaining or losing. And very, very infrequently is it able to maintain some level of power or control. And if it is able to maintain some sort of power control, it will feel the anxiety of the knowing that it's only fleeting and temporary. You have anything you want to add so far, sweetie? So, authentic soul power always has a solution, right? And the solution is simple. And the solution that a truly powerful person has fosters faith in the other person's ability. You see, an authentically powerful person is comfortable giving and sharing power, knowing that the other, you or whoever the other is in their own process of reclaiming their power and evolving into their highly enlightened state. And people who are under the influence of the ego's false power, they will tend to make things really complicated and can't seem to find a solution or can't accept the solutions that are offered. And they want others to be dependent on them. They want to have the answer and they want to foster you needing them. Yeah, babe?
So one of the points that we do in this country about that is, what is the most powerful thing you can do is a war. So what do? We have a war on drugs. We have a war on cancer. And so that's obvious that does not work.
Right.
That's false power.
That's right. It is. And the war against drugs and the war on cancer has totally backfired on us. So authentic soul power, divine power, works through presence, through your state of being. It's just who you are. You're present as power. Yeah, Judah wants to talk about this. Yes. This is your power, dear. It's not in your words. It's not in your actions. It is in you just being, breathing in and out, in and out, in and out, being an expression of life, an expression of life. An expression of white light energy flowing in, inhaling, exhaling in truth. Breath is your power. Your breath is your power. Your breath is your power. And stepping back from your egoic mind, stepping back from your thought, disown the ego mind altogether, disentangle, unattach yourself from it, and step back and simply watch and observe. And in this observer state, you have stepped into your power. And so you watch things come and go and unfold and do what they do. But your perspective is you're looking down on those things from above, in a sense, from your higher dimensional, higher vibrational state. And thus you are not a part of them, and thus they have no effect over you, and thus they have no power over you. You see, there is no matrix, there is no system, there is no lie of the culture, or there is no pain or emotional betrayal or any sort of thing that can have any power over you unless you allow it. And so the place of power is that you're not bothered by these things. You see, because none of these things can bother you. They cannot. You are simply bothering yourself with your own thoughts about them. You are bothering yourself by listening to your egoic mind. So don't listen to it at all. Divorce yourself from it altogether. And this is why we will continue to emphasize to you to meditate. In fact, this vessel had a thought today, and we are even confirming to her now in this moment that it is a thought from us, and it is this: I'm not going to work with people anymore who won't meditate. Why would she have this thought? Why would we give this thought to her? Because if you are not meditating, you are not learning how to own your power. In the state of meditation, you rise above your egoic mind. Maybe not in the beginning, maybe not in the first few minutes, maybe not in the first few months, but ultimately, if you commit, you will begin to simply observe your mind, your monkey mind running amok, and you will begin to observe it as something other than you, because it is not you. It is not you. And so if there is someone, perhaps someone here in the listening to the voice, you would love to spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour with this vessel. You would love that. But have you committed to meditate? Or do you just want us through her to give you an answer to your problem? Do you just want her to give you a winning lottery ticket, so to speak, to wave a wand and cure all your ills? Or do you really, really want to be sovereign over your own life, over your own soul, and take responsibility for yourself? And if you do, are you willing to meditate? Because that is where it all begins. In meditation is where you begin to experience the feeling of who you really are as authentic soul power. And if you do it long enough, you will begin to prefer this state, your true state, over the state of your ego. And you will eventually unseat the ego nearly and perhaps altogether. And this is something this vessel cannot do for you. And we cannot do it for you through her or otherwise. It is for you to take responsibility over your own life. It is for you. You see, a good day for God and a good day for Judah is a day in which you do not need us, because you have meditated and assumed your position of rightful power as an heir of God, as a child of God. You see, that is a good day for us. Good. That was the good stuff. Thanks. Judah's got my back, I can see. Go ahead, dear.
David Hawkins has a good book, Dr. David Hawkins, called Power versus Force, in which he explains this.
Excellent book. Yeah, very good. Dr. Hawkins is an enlightened being. We love his stuff. We would love to always be his student. And every now and then he channels through me, and I'm eternally grateful for that and for his books. Great book. So there were two things that I brought with me as I'm a former elementary school teacher, so I like to have little props, as you may know. So talking about authentic power and the ego power, when we think about power from a cultural context, we inevitably will tend to think about money. So I want to mention that tonight. There's two cards in the tarot deck. And I don't use tarot in the traditional sense, but I do love to study the archetypes of the tarot, because they are snapshots of our spiritual journey towards enlightenment. So this is just my personal take on it. When you line the cards up 0 all the way through the 52, those are different snapshots of different segments of our journey towards enlightenment. So I pulled out a couple that I wanted to share talking about power. And in case you don't know, anytime you see the golden coins on a card, that represents money. It represents your work life, or what your high purpose or calling is in work in this life, which of course in our world is generally tied to money. So I brought two of them with me, of these gold coin cards that are called Pentacle cards. And the first one that I brought represents the ego power, false power with money. And you can see this little man here. He's card number 4, and you can see him just kind of hunched over his gold coins, which can represent money. And as I said, it can also represent your power in life or your purpose. Of course, we strongly equate power with money, don't we? And you can see that he's kind of grabbed hold of this coin. He's holding it tight in this kind of stingy, miserly way. and he's got two of the coins beneath his feet because he's pinning them to the ground so no one can take off with them. And of course, the one on his crown representing that this power, of the mind, right? And so he's the one, he represents this false ego power, which is could also be, if you remember the story of Charles Dickens, this is the Scrooge, right? He was miserly, he didn't pay his people well, they were just barely eating his poor employees. He couldn't be bothered to give anything to anyone. He just wanted to keep. So this is the characteristic of egoic false power, is to take and keep, take and keep, take and keep. It's greedy and it's miserly. Now, I also brought this second card, which is the top of these gold coin cards called the Pinnacle cards. So this is the ace. This is the ace of money and power, right? And so if you look at it really closely, it's so beautiful because you see this lush green garden with this view of the beautiful mountains, but you see this divine hand. It's a hand literally coming down from heaven, holding the gold coin. So see, when you've reached a place of true soul power, of true divine power in the realms of money and work and your 3D material life, you understand that whatever wealth you have is given to you as a gift. It's a gift from the divine. You are sourced by the divine. And there are people who have so much enlightenment and true soul power with God and with angels, that they literally attract money like it's being dropped from the heavens, and they don't have to earn it anymore. It is a gift, a divine gift. And I pray and I wish that for each and every one of you tonight. Okay, I think I've got a couple more notes and then we're going to sing. So if you're this person, then you're working with the permission of others. You're working with their gifts and talents. You understand that we're all equal, right? Even if you have more consciousness than some folks that you're working in, they are a lower consciousness. You are working with them with a view to lifting them to your level of consciousness or beyond, right? I often say in this work, anything I can do, you can do better. You can do anything better than me. And this is one of the big thrills I have in working with you guys on personal sessions. It's very common. Almost every week I have people that begin to channel for the very first time. And I'm not trying to turn all you guys into channelers. I just want you to be your unique, empowered self. So a person who walks in true, authentic soul power is giving away that power to others and empowering others, right? They're equanimous. And one of the things that comes to my mind on this point is it said that on the Buddha's deathbed, he said this, be the light of your own soul. So imagine for a minute, if you were one of the Buddha's followers, and there's the Buddha lying on his deathbed, he's going to die any moment now. And he was probably surrounded by all of these that loved him so much, and they were so grieved, right? So grieved that they were going to lose their master. And they were listening for the most important last words that he would say. And he said, be the light of your own soul. So he used his last breath to say, it's not all about me, guys. It's not all about me. I'm not your light. You're the light. You're the light of your own soul. Right? So this is the attitude of a person that is truly enlightened and has authentic soul power. They want you to see that you are the light. They don't want you to see them as the light for you. Now, a person that's in ego power always sees themselves as better than others and others as less than them. Or sometimes the coin is flipped and suddenly in a moment of weakness, they will seem very inferior. So this ego power wants you to think that you've got all the goods and others don't, or that others have all the goods and you don't. And this egoic power wants you to see yourself as the source for others or others as the source for you. Okay, I want to share one last story about Jesus. Jesus was going along with his friends and bumped into this guy named Nathaniel. And I want to read this really short little story of his. So Jesus was gallivanting around with his friend Philip, and then Philip found his buddy Nathaniel, and he told him, "We found the one, the one, the one. We found the master." And Nathaniel was like, "Really? Are you sure? Where's this guy from? He's from Nazareth? No, there's nothing good that comes out of Nazareth." And Philip says, "No, really, come and see this guy." And so when Jesus met Nathaniel and saw him on the road to meet him, he said, "Oh, here's a true guy. There's no deceit in this guy." And Nathaniel said, "How did you know that about me?" And Jesus said, "Well, before Philip went to get you, I saw you sitting under the fig tree." So Jesus is just sharing that he had this really super simple, clairvoyant vision of Nathaniel sitting under a fig tree. Nothing like earth shattering, right? Just a simple picture of what he'd been doing. And Nathaniel said, "Whoa, you really are the Son of God. You're the King of Israel." And Nathaniel had that much faith in him just based on this little clairvoyant vision that Jesus had had of him sitting under the tree. And Jesus answered him and said, "Do you believe that I'm the Son of God just because I saw you sitting under a fig tree? Well, I'll tell you, you're going to see greater things than this. Truly, I tell you, Nathaniel, you're going to see the heavens opened and the angels of God going up and down." So, you see, this is an example of authentic soul power. A true master meets this young disciple or this gentleman that would eventually become his disciple. And he shared a very simple clairvoyant vision that he had. And of course, the guy was kind of wowed by it. "Wow, that was amazing." And Jesus said, "Just wait. If you think that's cool, that's nothing compared to what you're going to do, compared to what you're going to see with your clairvoyant vision. You're going to see angels going in and out of heaven." So, this is the aspect of true power and a true guru and master.